morning, Central Texas. Welcome to KISS Community Connection. This is Phyllis Jones. I'm your host, and guess what? I'm your guest. And you know, we have a lot to talk about this morning, but we have one topic specifically to talk about because some of us, I'll say some, you know, sometimes you could do so much help till you start doing harm, and it's not on purpose, but it ends up being that way. And when you step back and look, you go, oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about the Killeen's homeless shelter, which has been all over the news. It's all over everywhere. And first of all, I'll say it's not a Killeen. Don't look at the homeless shelter as just a Killeen problem. You got to remember the Killeen were just the only ones with the shelter. The people that are homeless are from other cities. Harker Heights does not have a homeless shelter, but the Friends in Crisis helps people from Belton, Harker Heights, Nolanville, and Killeen. And Killeen just happens to be the ones with the shelter. So they migrated to Killeen. Well, last week, you remember, it's a guy. His name is Amari. He was on the news, and he decided to go down there and help out. So he got people to donate tents, which became like Tent City. So there's 30 people that are there at the shelter downtown, living outside on the grounds. And there is about 20 tents. And there's the little pup tents, the ones that you get in and as short as I am, I could probably sit up in the tent and still have room, but they're the ones that you kind of, you know, zip in and be in. You know, a lot of people, as myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, living in a tent like that, I guess to me and to some of us who we're not homeless, so we would know, but I wouldn't think that's like the cool place to be because they hold heat. If it rains, you're going to get wet. The rest is going to get wet and you're going to get wet and it's going to be a mess. But the homeless people like it, so that's fine. I mean, they like it. We don't have to because we're not homeless. So then you found out there was a group called Healing, Community Healing. And that was the group that Amari has, and he was doing the tents, and he got people to donate food, and they were a barbecue grill, so they were grilling. And I'm not going to say it was a big kumbaya moment, but they were satisfied because it was better for them that they thought than living on the street. So they figured, okay, fine, this is much better. So that's what they are. Then you saw two other organizations pop up, and they're all crashing in to help, which is where the nightmare begins. Okay, so you have the community. People are dropping off water, constantly dropping off water. People are bringing food. People have gotten together and started doing non-perishable foods, you know, so something that they can have, you know, open up and just, you know, eat it as it is and not have to cook it because they don't have a stove or refrigerate it. The water, they needed the water because they're using the water to shower themselves. So the bottled water they're using to take a shower with. I found that out because I went down there. So there are some things they had. Well, you know, after watching too many organizations be a part, you know, at that point it's going to be a disaster. Because if you have three organizations and they're not working together, but they're working on the same group, that could be a nightmare coming about. Well, last Thursday, myself and Shirley Fleming, we left our TSOY meeting, which is Texas Save Our Youth, and we went down there because Shirley Fleming, as you know, is a councilwoman, and that is her district. The shelter is in her area, so we went down there and we talked to one of the guys there. He can't be named because he doesn't want his boss to know he's homeless. He has a job, but he has a job and it pays, I'll say minimum wage, and it does, but he doesn't work full time. So for him, it's just a job from one end to another to meet the ends to be okay. But he came up to us, and also Melissa went with us. So he came up because, you know, he recognized Shirley because he's seen her before on the city council. So we wanted to know, what did they actually need? Because, you know, the biggest thing people want to know is what they need. But if you look at all those Facebook pages, it didn't tell you what they needed, it just told you what they were doing. So we talked to the one person, and he told us that some of them need their IDs because they don't have an ID. So we're like, okay. He said they need snacky things like potato chips, cookies, you know. They have enough water to sell back to HEB. So water's not like, oh my God, they need it right now, but they do need chips, snacks. The men need underwear, women need underwear, things like that. They need trash bags. They told Shirley that they needed a dumpster because there is none. Well, surely as the city council person, she can make sure that they get a dumpster, and she can make sure that's done because hey, she is the councilwoman, and like I said, there's some things that she could do that we really can't do. So she told me she would do that for them. But then we heard on we were listening, look back again on the Facebook page while we were there, and on the Facebook page, one of the groups was saying that this Sunday, which would be today, that they were going to get the people together, and they were going to march to Destiny's church and say, hey, listen, we want to camp out on your grounds. Well, that was the one time that I leaped in. I'm like, I need to rethink this. You don't go to a church and say, hey, you can walk up all these people with their tents and say, hey, you know, we want to be on your land. You have big enough space. We want to be here. No. I called them up and I'm like, that'd be a bad idea. One, if they said, no, you got these homeless people who are with all their stuff coming somewhere to get turned down again. Because remember, they just got turned down when the shelter closed. So you're going to be kicking them in the butt again. So the last thing you really want to do is walk them somewhere unless you've already cleared it with Destiny's Church that they will be able to camp there. Don't do that. It'd be bad, you know. And me and him discussed it back and forth a little bit there, but I let him know, no, you don't do that because, like I said, from downtown where the shelter is to Destiny's Church is not an easy walk. It's a long walk, and walking somewhere only to be turned away would be, like I said, that's double bad. That's double because they've just been rejected from the shelter. So that would not be a good idea. Okay, so we did discuss that, and that's gone. Well, so now you had, first of all, remember I told you you had two organizations first. Now you have three. Well, guess what? Now they got a fourth organization. This fourth organization is going to help the veterans there. The fourth organization is new to our area, and so since it's new to our area, we really don't know much about them. But they're supposed to be helping our veterans, the veterans that are homeless, find a place. And then the other homeless organization, he says they have a house, the 3-bedroom house that supposedly some of them will be able to move into. And then the other ones are just simply waiting for, you know, the city to donate the extra money to get the shelter open. And then remember, on the other part, you have a GoFundMe account. So what I just said altogether looks like a nightmare. Yes, it does. Looks like a nightmare going bad. And it does. Because now you have people who are taking control over a group of people. So just think, you got a group of groups who are saying, okay, these 30 people on this lawn, we're going to take care of you. We're your spokesperson. We're your this. Okay, yet no one's talking to them. My issue with all that is that if you don't talk to them, you don't tell them what they need because you're not there. You don't have a right to say, don't do this, because you're not there and you're not one of them. Just like I told you about the tents. I didn't get it. I did not get it. But after talking to one of them, I understood everything they said. I understood. And I didn't agree or disagree, but I understood their plight because guess what? I'm not homeless. I get to go home every day. So it'd be crazy for me to tell them that it's a dumb idea without understanding that for them, that means a whole lot. So to them, it means a whole lot. Guess what? I am fine with it. I have no problems with it, but it is. But now you've got groups that are taking charge. You got like you had one group, which is Omari's group, came in, did the tents and all those things. But then you have another group. Well, we're going to do this. And you have another group. They're going to do this. Now you have another group that's coming in to help the veterans. And also remember, you have Officer Kyle Moore, and he is the homeless coalition person for the police department for the city of Killeen, who knows what he's doing. And what I mean, he knows what he's doing. There is a national coalition homeless organization, and it's a national organization. And Kyle Moore became a part of it, because it's bigger and it's organized and it's for across the United States. Texas has one, and he belongs to that, so he goes to those meetings. The other thing is that the guy we were talking to, when we were talking to him about, you know, being there, because like I said, he wasn't the spokesperson, but he the one came up and started talking to us. You know, he was letting us know that there are things that no one's asked them, such as the guy that we were talking to, whose name can't be known because he has a job. You know, they're talking about putting all of them in a place, yet he broke it down. He broke it down and let us know that he was and it was cute at that time when he said it, and I'll explain it. He told us that he was an SO. Shirley Fleming, our council person, had no idea what a SO is. So she was like, it's okay. We can still get your place. You can still move in with everybody else. So I leaned over to her and told her SO, a sex offender. She was like, what? I said, an SO is a sex offender. That's what the acronym is. It's what it is. I said, he said, yeah, I am. I said, so no, he can't move in with everybody else because he is a sex offender. I applauded him for saying so because most people won't say that, but he did step out and say that. So that goes back to everybody's helping everybody, but do you know exactly what's really going on? He listed a number of them have records. Not a number of them are felons that are homeless because they can't get a job, and they're out there. So some of the people that are homeless, I'm not going to say they need to stay homeless, but when everybody makes that move, you're going to have to know who's who and what's going on and what their background is. Because like I said, the one guy we're talking to, he's a sex offender. So should he move with everybody else? Not. Gotta be careful of where he goes. He has to be careful where he goes. He knows his boundaries and he knows what he can and can't do. And he is, I'll say, intelligent enough and aware enough to know. Some of the guys that are there that are veterans who don't have an ID, he was also letting us know that a couple of them don't have an ID. They are veterans, but they were in jail. They were kicked out of the Army, put in jail. So they don't have any rights to any, what you want to call it, benefits. They don't have that. They can't get benefits. That's out. That they can't have them because of what they went to jail for while they were in the military. Those things have to be weeded out and talked about. But everybody is so hooked up on, let's move them to this. One lady, like I said, she came on board with her organization to help veterans, and she's looking for a place, a building that someone is willing to donate for the time being to put the veterans in. But I just told you about some of the veterans that are there. So and her thing was, okay, I'll find that out later. No, you need to find that out now. You need to actually talk to them now. So through talking to her and listening to her, I realized, one, she hadn't talked to any of the veterans that are there. She's just going by, I know some are there. No, yeah, we know some are there. That's obvious. One thing we all knew. But she's not talked to them to find out anything about them. So she's going off, looking for an apartment and, going to get them a place to stay. And I backed her up. I'm like, hey, listen, you're going to get an apartment. Let's say you get somebody to donate a duplex or whatever for them to stay in. She goes, yes. Who's going to pay the electric bill? I asked her, who's going to pay the electric bill? She looks at me, oh, yeah. I said, second, when you give them the key and they open the door, there's nothing in the place. There's no furniture in there. There's no bed, no nothing. I said, so you're going to take this veteran and say, hey, I got this duplex for you, fourplex or whatever. You move in. He turns the key and bam, looks like the tent he just left. There's nothing in there. So what's he going to do? You haven't given him anything. You haven't done anything. You simply gave him a place to turn the key to. Okay, now also, so she was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Got to get furniture. Duh, yeah. You got to have all these things done before he turns the key to get in that house. Second, if he's been homeless for more than 6 months, he has a mental problem. Because you got to remember, when you're homeless, it's a mentality level that homeless have. They have a mentality level different from the way we do. And I don't mean they're dumb or they're stupid, but they're living in a different mode than we do right now. They're in a different mode. They're in a different mindset. They're used to something that we're not used to. They've become not comfortable with it, but this is what they've adapted themselves to. So if they've been out there for 6 months or more, they need some help. Because you got to figure, if you've been on the street for 6 months or more, and all of a sudden somebody puts you in an apartment and it's quiet, you're going to freak the heck out. Because all of a sudden, you have no clue what to do. You're not fending for nobody. You're not doing anything. That could be a freaked out situation. You just think about it. I know we would say no, it wouldn't, but yes, it would, because it's a change of pace, a change of lifestyle, and it's a change that's going to happen not gradually. It'll be like today you living in a tent, tomorrow you're in a place. That takes some time to grow on someone, so they'll need counseling. So she was thinking she's going to get this done in like 2 weeks' time. When I backed her up, I'm like, hey, listen. Okay, if someone donates you their place for them to live in, you're going to get the furniture from. I got the famous, who's going to pay the electricity? Well, who's going to pay the water bill? You know, so those are creature habits we need. Then I asked her the final big question: where the food coming from? Now there is a place that they could get food from free, and it's for veterans in their hand. But my thing to her is, where do they get food from? Just where? Okay, and once you get them there, what you gonna do with them? I can't just give you a place and go, hey, you're here. No, you got to do something to earn that. So what are you gonna do? So I let her know her 2-week thing that she was revving up to do is not gonna happen. Not gonna happen in 2 weeks. It isn't. It is not. But she's all over the place trying to prove me wrong, which is really cool. But you know, her mindset, I'm like, okay, you got the mind, but to get all that done, I don't see it in 2 weeks. So she need to slow it down and not let them know that's what she's doing. But in her mind, it will work. But like I said, has she thought it out? When we start breaking it down, she was looking at me like, I got to work on that. You know, so coming up with these big grandiose ideals and letting them know that sometimes you're doing them more harm than you are good. And let's say she found a place for them to stay. Let's say somebody has a duplex, fourplex. Let's say a fourplex, and she can get two per place. Let's say she can get 2 per place. And whoever has that place is let them use it for a time. How long are they going to let them use it? Is it going to be permanent? Is it going to be part-time? Is it only going to be for a few months? Is it going to be until he could lease it or sell it? What? Is it going to be that what? And after the time is that, what you're going to do with them? You're going to put them back on the street? What you going to do with them at that point? You got to have a plan to move forward. So this, what she's talking about, is a long-term plan that's going to take some time. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. You know, because first she had her eyes set on one building. Oh yeah, they'll let me use this building. It's been vacant for all this time. But what happens when he sells it? What happens when he leases it? Because the building is for sale or lease. So what's going to happen to them then? See, sometimes when we, like I said, we're all busy. Everybody's trying to do something for a group of people. And it ends up becoming a nightmare because everybody's not working on the same sheet. Everybody's not working on the same mindset. Everybody's in there. I can do this, or we can do this, we can do this. So it became an I, me thing with 30 people that's living on a yard. Now we know it's more than 30 people homeless in Killeen. We do know that. But those are the 30 that are there because they're there and that's where they've been for a while. So they're there. The other ones, they might not want to be there or they're just not there. Who knows where they are. But what I'm saying is, we have too many people making too many decisions over a group of people that they really haven't talked to. Like I said, the one guy we talked to, he's a sex offender. You gonna put him in an apartment with who? You really are? No, it's not gonna happen. And then, you know, they talked to Officer Moore, and Officer Moore is, love him to death because he blatantly let them know, y'all need to rethink this. You know, now they're disagreeing with him. Now, you think that's his job. That's what he does for the police department. He's there. He knows who, how, the resources and all that. If he tells you you need to rethink your idea, well, guess what? You probably need to rethink your idea because he can tell you about everybody down there. But the group isn't listening to nothing he's saying. Now, he can't make nobody do nothing. He can't say, listen, do what I say or else. He's not in that position to do that because legally, they're not breaking any laws by what they're doing, but what they're doing is they're promising a whole bunch to a group of people and telling them what they're going to do. And those things can't be done when they want. And those things might take so long to get done until who knows what's going to happen. But we're creating chaos. I know last night I was looking back on the Facebook pages again because I'm shadowing them. And this one lady was saying, one group, they were saying they're going to stop people from making donations right now until everything is cleaned up. Well, how you going to tell me that I can't donate to a group of people and you haven't told them? Yeah, they don't know. They don't know I can't donate. But you're telling me, Joe is sitting there like, what? But you're going to tell me, hey, we're going to stop donations right now until we get everything under control. Once again, you're trying to control a group of adults who seemingly, not going to say they got this done right, but they're not comfortable, but they know what they need and what they don't need. So you can't tell people, oh, don't bring nothing. We're not going to allow anything. No one has that right to do that or say that because they're not owned. You don't own them. You don't control them. And you can't say, oh, we're speaking for them unless you've asked them. So that's not right. We need to quit doing that. We need to stop becoming the ones in charge of. Like I said, we're going back to the beginning. Everybody's trying to leap in and help, but no one's working together. Everybody's working in an I, me syndrome system. So this group over here is doing this. This group here is doing this. You got 4 groups that are doing things, but they're not working together. They know who they are, but they're not working together. And what I mean together, they know who they are. They know what they all are doing, but no one has sat down at the table with them. And I mean them, the people that are homeless, that are sleeping there, the 30 people that are there. No one's talking to them. And you can't, and as I say about politics, you can't speak for me until you speak to me. Like I said, we talked to this one guy who, came over and talked to us, and he introduced us to a couple of people there, and we talked to quite a few of them. And the first thing we asked them is, what do you need? Not what do you want, what do you need? Now, the one guy, he came up with it. He was like, listen, we're tired of you all giving us the fish. We want you to teach us how to catch the fish. So he rolled it up all into one thing, bam. Bam. It was like, so he said was, okay, that's all he had to say. He could have said that when it sat down, because he said a whole lot in a short amount of time. He said they don't want nobody to lie to them. They don't want nobody to come in with this grand ideal that they even can't see. He said, but they do want to learn how to, how to fish, and not just giving him the fish. So my mind went to this. We have enough men in the city of Killeen who have nothing to do, because they just don't have nothing to do. They're retired, or they're chilling, or whatever, or you have some that do work. My thought process when he said that was this. There's a lot of odd jobs in Killeen that need to be done. And if some of those men pass the background check, and Kyle Moore can tell you who can pass the background check or not, there's some men that could form a business, and they could do day labor business, where you have somebody who needs their gutters cleaned out. Those men can be picked up, taken to do that, and brought back. It's a money making business, and we have businesses like that, but that can be done. Can it be controlled? Yes, because you have Officer Moore who could tell you he shouldn't go, she shouldn't go. He knows who should and shouldn't go. That could be something to teach them how to catch the fish, rather than you throwing the fish to them, as he was saying. So those things can be done. So men can get together and form that, and get that. A club or an organization of guys could actually do that, and teach and give these men, like I said, odd jobs. You take it like even our city of Killeen, when that building caught on fire. Why did the city hire people to clean it out when they could have went and got them, paid them a little money and let them do it? Why not let them do it? They're there. They want to work. All of them don't want to be in the situation they're in. And also, if you figure, if you've been in that situation for a long amount of time, you don't know how to get out. You don't know how to get out, because you're busy trying to fend for yourself there. So you don't know how to get out. So you have to be taught how to get out. So they could do small jobs. They can do some of the odd things that nobody wants to do. They can do that and get themselves back on their feet to be responsible for a living. We talked to another young man there, and he's 21. But his family and him, he's been homeless since he was 10. And just think, he's 10. He was 10, homeless. And now his parents have passed away, and he's homeless still at 21. So same young lady, she goes, we can get him a place to stay. I said, he will freak out. She goes, what do you mean? I said, just think, from age 10 to 21, he's been homeless. He doesn't know what a house is. He doesn't know what an apartment even feels like. You put him in it. I said, so he's used to being with a group of people who are all homeless, but he's used to that kind of family. It's embedded into his head. From 10 to 21 years of age, he's done. I'm not going to say he can't live anywhere, but it's going to take a minute or two for him to get there. After talking to him, you also realize that he's autistic. Because if you talk to him for a few minutes, you go, okay, yeah, you can figure that out. So she was like, we need to get him off the street, get him a place. No, we need to get him some counseling first. Because, like I said, from 10 to 21 is a long time to be homeless. All his informative years, he was homeless. So he doesn't know what a bed is. Because you can't remember that. For 21, he don't remember having a bed at 9. He can't remember that. He doesn't know what it is to go from one room to another in an apartment. So put him in a place, no, he'd have to be counseled to be placed anywhere. So we need to think about what we're doing before we do it. Everybody wants to help the homeless, which is fantastic, but think about what you're doing. I said a friend of mine, she made 2,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And like I said, I thought she was crazy. I really did.